Alright, so boom. Yes, sir. XXL time. We gotta roll the iconic intro that I've been using for the past 5 years whenever I make these videos. Even though what we do is wrong. Let's get it. All I gotta say for this intro is this. People need to stop complaining about artists using written verses for the XXL Freestyles. XXL has been doing freshman freestyles for 13 years, and every single year, a lot of people come with a verse from a song. Now, this doesn't bother me in the absolute slightest, but for some reason, I have seen a gang of people whining about it this year. Oh, you can tell that they just took a verse from one of their songs. They're not even freestyling for real. Everybody from B.O.B. in 2009 to Kendrick Lamar in 2011 to P&B Rock in 2017 to J.I.D. in 2018. Almost everybody spits a written verse when they get on XXL. Some of the best freestyles in XXL freshman history are verses from songs. But y'all still show up every single year. But what the hell, man? They're not even going off the head. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we can get into the person that's in 12th place. Complaining that someone is spitting a written verse for the XXL freestyle is like complaining that NBA players don't hoop for real in the All-Star game. Every year during the All-Star game, those dudes are hooping for fun. They not playing their heart out like it's a championship on the line. It's been like that for years. Imagine watching the All-Star game and saying, man, what the hell? They not even playing for real. They playing all casually for fun, man. What is this? But then you continue to watch it every single year like something gonna be different. Like, you people who complain about this are so stupid. If you are expecting people to rap off the top of their head, then stop watching XXL freestyles. Because hardly anybody raps off the top of their head, and expecting them to do that when they haven't done so in 13 years is very ridiculous. Oh, I'm about to be on people's ass in this video. Y'all can already tell. Let's get into the person that's in last place. Let me say this right now. The person I have in last place, I don't have them here because I hate black women, because I know a lot of y'all are about to get emotional and think this anyway. This person is in last place because I genuinely think this person's freestyle was not good at all. In last place, I gotta put Doechii. After watching Doechii's XXL freestyle, I 100% stand by what I said about her before. This girl does not have her own rap style at all. She has her moments where she raps exactly like Roman Zelensky, Nicki Minaj. And in Doechii's case, her rapping like Roman Zelensky is not a good thing, and it doesn't come off as inspiration. Instead, it comes off as flat out biting and her not knowing what she wants to sound like on her own. That crazy girl vibe that she creates, the screaming that she does, this is all stuff that's been done by Nicki before. Now keep in mind, I am not saying that that is bad on its own, because I know somebody is getting ready to comment, just because Doechii sounds like Nicki Minaj doesn't mean she's garbage. Not once did I say that this makes her a bad artist. What it does do is make me uninterested in her. I don't hear this girl and think like, she's so unique, she's different. Like, no, I just hear it and I go like, this ain't nothing that I care for. She even sounded like Iggy Azalea to me. I know that was a name y'all was not expecting to be brought up at all, but I'll show y'all why I said that. Her first few lines where she was like, stripper money here, busting out that boosty ears, bring that liquor here, only bring that stripper here. It reminded me of the song I've heard by Iggy Azalea called Treasure Island, where Iggy used that long E sound that Doechii just used. Iggy said, kill these hoes with my southern flow, look so good and I'm flying here, soaring high like an eagle, ho, baddest bitch in my hemisphere. But just listen to how she says here and hemisphere.
Look so good that I'm flying here, soaring high like an eagle, ho, baddest bitch in my hemisphere.
See, she even raps like Iggy. I have actually seen some people give Doechii props because she's different, saying things like, at least she came with a style that not a lot of other people do, so I give her points for that. And I can only agree with the first part. I will admit that it's not a lot of female artists that rap like this, even with Nicki Minaj's crazy influence, but I'm not giving her points for that. It's different, sure, but it's not different in an impressive way. Now, lyrically, Doechii's freestyle was fine, but this is a strong example of why delivery is so important. People be defending rappers by saying, like, you can't say that their delivery is bad because that's just how they rap. They can rap like that all they want to, but that don't mean people have to like it. This whole part right here when she was talking about how she's already killing other girls in the rap game and yet there's still girls that are sleeping on her, lyrically it was fine, but the way she decided to say it is what made me not mess with it. Doechii season, ho, don't you see it? Top of the food chain and you open season. Bitches already there, the strip club is just where I'm cleaving. Purchase the bigger bed for all of these bitches sleeping. This is what I'm talking about. Something being different doesn't automatically make it good. Every single line she kept making her voice higher. Did that make it trash or did it make it sound fire? That's up for y'all to decide, but I give her a thumbs up for lyrics, but a strong thumbs down for delivery. This girl is way too theatrical and she trying too hard to be unique to the point where it just comes off as making her look ridiculous. Like, girl, stop, you doing way too much. The ending of her freestyle was the best part, but it was the main part of her verse where she was rapping like Nicki. First bitch that rap, TDE, top, moot, and punch. Vouch for me, first day my little knew to hit the lottery. Now I'm the bitch you ever after, happily. That was the only part of her freestyle that was cold. So yeah, y'all, I'm sorry. I can't rock with Doechii just based off how she sounds like she's biting off other people. There are probably times where her biting other people works and it still sound good, but this definitely wasn't one of those times. The last thing I'm gonna say about Doechii is this. People are giving her way too much credit for doing the smallest things. And although I can agree that she is different, people are calling her creative, and that's what I think is the wrong word. People was pointing out how she was doing the spinning around and the twirling and all the hand movements, saying like, hey, she was creative with her hand movements, at least she wasn't standing still. Like, come on now. She was creative with her spinning and her hand movements. Y'all give this girl points for literally anything. In my opinion, she had the worst one this year. In 11th place, we have Nardo Wick. The very first freestyle to drop this year was Nardo Wick's, and listen, I don't know if I'm the only one that thought this, but his whole freestyle felt like he was going back and forth between nice lines and corny lines. The whole freestyle, he would say something cold and then say something weak right after that. Honestly, I don't even know if I would say the very first line was nice. I might need some bigger jeans, money keep poking out my pockets, like I perform at Chinese restaurants, pull up at every show with chopsticks. Now see, a lot of people would think that's clever. Get it? Chinese restaurants, chopsticks? When he say chopsticks, he's talking about bringing guns to his shows. Like, yes, bro, I got it when I first heard it. It's not a deep bar. It's probably already some Nardo Wick fanboys like, you tripping, cuz, that line was hard. I just didn't think it was all that. But let me ask y'all something. You guys ever peep how an artist would say a good bar and then immediately mess it up by saying a trash bar right after it? That's how I felt with these very next lines right here. If I say I hated real niggas, I would be a hypocrite. Though none of us got diarrhea, but my niggas always taking shit. That first line was nice. Instead of simply saying I'm a real nigga, he said that would be the pot calling the kettle black if I said I didn't like real niggas. I can't be out here saying I don't like them because then I'll be saying I don't like myself. That was a nice little simple but effective line. But like I said, he immediately ruined it with the diarrhea part afterwards. I almost had zero hope for this man's freestyle off the first set of lines. The chopstick line, the diarrhea line, I was like, oh gosh, this man's fumbling hard right now. Luckily for him, he was able to pick it back up a little bit. These next lines right here, I actually enjoyed all of these and I was like, all right, he coming back now. I can change my skin to all white, I'll still be that nigga. You can cut my fingers off, still find a way to pull that trigger. I ain't fat or gaining weight, but you can see I'm getting bigger. I ain't picking up no trash, but you can see we getting litter. This whole part was nice, with him talking about himself getting popular in the rap game, him and his crew getting more money, and him simply being that nigga. But once again, he fell off the tracks. After this, one of his lines, this was so corny. He said, I need a hat that say rated because I'm underrated. I'm not about to explain this. Like, if you don't get it, then that's kind of sad because it wasn't that clever. But this is exactly what I mean. Every time I rewatched this freestyle, I was like, this dude is legit going back and forth between weak lyrics and nice lyrics. Like, that underrated line was like, that was so trash. But I know some people would be so impressed by that and call it fire.
I need a hat that says rated. Cause what am I? Underrated. I am oh my God. Wow.
Kind of like what Lil Wayne said on 6 Foot 7 Foot. Like, I think you stand under me if you don't understand me. Unpopular opinion here, I never thought that Wayne bar was all that. That was always just a mediocre line to me. The final thing I'm gonna say about Nardo, and I didn't talk about this yet, but I know it's something that's very obvious and all of you notice when you watch his freestyle. This man's delivery is so ass. You gotta run back a line like 3 times or more to hear what the hell he's saying. The way Nardo Wick talks, he sounds like he doesn't open his mouth all the way when he speaks. It sounds like he's talking through his teeth. Some people keep saying like, it's his accent. Man, I don't know if I'm trying to hear that. For some reason, people love to say stuff like, hey, you can't judge an artist because of their voice because they can't change how they sound. They was born with that voice. You 100% can judge somebody because of their voice. And the obvious reason is because voice goes into delivery, which in turn goes into how good your rap sounds. You could be spitting the coldest bars imaginable. If your voice gets on my damn nerves, it's not going to sound good to me. And I'm not going to want to listen to it. That's how I feel with Nardo Wick's freestyle.
I might need some bigger thing. You wanna keep punking out my pocket. Like I perform in a Chinese restaurant, pull up every show and chop things.
So I have him in 11th place, but I can honestly admit that his freestyle was okay enough. And if he simply sounded better and took out those 3 whack lines that I pointed out, he would have been much higher. In 10th place, I got somebody who I've seen hella people put this person like top 3 in their rankings. And some people even put them as the best one. And I seriously don't know why y'all got this person so high up on y'all list. In 10th place, I got SoFaygo. Y'all know how I say people give Doechii way too much credit for small stuff. In SoFaygo's case, I believe people are giving him way too much credit because he chose to spit off the dome instead of rapping a written verse like everybody else. When this man's freestyle dropped, he was the 3rd person to go. Nardo, Wick went first and Doechii went 2nd. As soon as his freestyle dropped, I dead ass saw people saying the fact that he chose to actually freestyle off the top of his head makes his the best one so far. And stuff like, oh snap, SoFaygo didn't come with a pre-written verse. He already got a better performance than Nardo, Wick, and Doechii off that alone. You people who say this are tripping. This goes to every single person that's watching this video. This goes to everyone who may have commented this on SoFaygo's freestyle video. If you are giving this man props and putting him over other people because, hey, at least he went off the dome, then you're part of the problem. Going off the dome doesn't automatically make you better or push your performance over someone else's, because the freestyle at the end of the day still needs to sound good. Then you get bonus points if it actually ends up being cold. But SoFaygo's was very basic, and in my honest opinion, him choosing to spit off the top was literally a detriment and was the main thing that was wrong with his freestyle. When I first heard it, I was like, I don't even know if he was rapping off the top or if the reason he was pausing for 10 seconds was because he was spitting the verse he already had and that verse had a particular melody or beat to it. So he was playing the beat in his head, which required him to be quiet every now and then. Man, who knows? But because it was allegedly off the top, this dude was taking like 20 seconds to think of his next line. Those long ass pauses that he kept taking was ruining his verse every time he did it. His bars were hella generic too. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but he was legit rapping like, I said I got a lot of motivation. If you ain't got motivation, then you ain't got Nathan. I said I'm trying to make it to the top. All y'all other weak rappers need to stop. Life has its ups and downs, but you gotta remember to smile and not frown. I was like, bro, come on, like what is this? Now back to his bars, like I said, like they were okay. Life's full of highs and lows, but we need them. I just got some goals and I'm trying to achieve them. Work on a weekday, party on the weekend. I was like, man, why did you try to spit off the top? If you would have wrote something, you could have came up with way better lines than this. The best line in his whole freestyle to me was when he said, I want to be legendary, they want to be popping, which even then wasn't anything deep, but it was nice to see him say how he wants the longevity in rap and how he wants to be a future GOAT, while other people are just in the game for some quick clout and some money and that's it. Honestly, even though his lyrics were really basic, had he said them better, i.e. not try to go off the dome and actually had these written down, he could have had a nice cadence or rhythm around them and it would have made it more enjoyable to listen to. Instead, as y'all saw, dude was standing around for 10 minutes before he said his next lines because he was trying to think of what to say next. And that part alone is why this wasn't all that and why he's bottom 3. At number 9, we got the Detroit disappointment, and that is Babyface Ray. Now, I don't know if Babyface Ray was purposely censoring himself or if he was forgetting some of his lines, but either way, those stops he was doing was ruining his verse. Even though I have Babyface Ray higher than the Nardo, Wicks, Doechii, and SoFaygo of the world, don't think that I think Ray's was anything special. Unfortunately, even though he did an alright job, his looks even better compared to the other 3 people's. The thing with Ray is that he had several lines here and there that made you go, like, hey, that line was cool. Oh, okay, that line was nice. But it wasn't anything hard hitting that had that factor to it. Nothing really made me go like, ooh, this dude's spitting. Everything was just cool here and there. This whole part right here was actually smooth. My youngin called a case. He's been in there since the 9th grade to scholarship because he tried to rob the dice game. When I let God lead the way, that's when my life changed. When you take a trip and go and get him, then the price changed. These are the lines I'm talking about that made me go like, okay, that was pretty nice. But everything outside of this though was just basic lyrics that I heard and I was like, okay, that was alright. I had to tell her ass to slow down, quit running after me. You know your mans will get smoked down. He like a pack to me. How it feel that you the GOAT now? That's what they asking me. This is why I say I believe Ray's is just aight too, because even though he had some lines that was cool, it was nothing that made me look at the entire freestyle and go like, Detroit stand up, man, this dude killed it. The other obvious thing that was wrong with his freestyle is his dry ass delivery, man. I know I've brought up delivery 100 times in this video already, But that seriously be the problem with how some of these people spit. Even those lyrics I just highlighted earlier, the way I said it was totally different than how he said it. My youngin' caught a case, he's been in there since the 9th grade for the scholarship because he tried to rhyme the dice game. Yeah, when I let God lead the way, that's when my life changed. When you take a trip and go and get him, then the price changed. I feel like the excuse of that's just how they rap only goes so far. Yes, I get it. Like, we all get it. That's just how Babyface Ray sounds. But it's still dull as hell. This man has no soul. He raps like he's on house arrest. So yeah, I'm sorry. Ray is only at this spot because he had a few cool lines here and there, and he didn't really say anything whack. I started liking 42 Doug's freestyle way more after hearing Babyface Ray's freestyle. As soon as I heard Ray's, I went back and I was like, hey, I ain't fucked her, I fucked her, 10 million. Reason why I'm never in my feelings, CMG. Money bag, youngster, me and G. Fuck with us, if it's up with us, bitches stuck with us. The hood dudes that's watching this video are about to be so mad that I got their favorite artist so low on the list. But number 8 is Big Scarr. The first thing out my mouth when I heard Big Scarr's freestyle was, that's it, nigga? Bro, is that all you had to say? This was short as hell. This dude's freestyle was 28 seconds, dog. 28 seconds. Here's a list of how long everybody's freestyle was this year for those of y'all who want to pause it and read the times. But yeah, as soon as I clicked on the video, it was over. The length would have been fine if it was 28 seconds of some heat, but it was nothing to go crazy over. I think a lot of us heard that verse and was like, that was it? Alright, that was cool, I guess. So Scarr just spent his whole Blinking You'll Miss It freestyle boasting about how he came up, how lit he is thanks to all the money he got now, and how nobody from 12 to his ops, like nobody's gonna stop his grind. Pockets on swole like I just hit the lottery, now every day is a shopping spree. Pushed out the motor without the key, veto of my engine, the police ain't catching me. Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but his freestyle probably would have been worse had it been longer. Cause his voice with that flow is already kind of monotone to listen to. Well, I could have visited a property, it's actually better that we only had to deal with 28 seconds of that instead of 60 seconds of it. Big Scarr's freestyle was really just like, okay, his delivery was super monotone and it was hella short. But it being short is the tough part. Like, it's a pro and a con, because had he went longer and kept that monotone flow, it would have been lower on the list. So it being only 28 seconds kind of helped it. I know Big Scarr fanboys, I know y'all was let down too, because for those of y'all who don't know, XXL don't post freestyles or ciphers on the weekends, like Saturday or Sunday. They never have. But while I was re-listening to some of the freestyles over the weekend of Saturday, July 2nd and Sunday, July 3rd, I saw several comments like, why y'all not posting Big Scarr's freestyle today? What's going on? What's taking y'all so long? Give us Scarr. Y'all was down XXL's throat wanting them to post this so y'all can finally rest peacefully. So I know y'all was disappointed when this is what y'all got. Actually, hell no, y'all probably love this freestyle. Y'all about to get on my ass in the comments like, I stopped watching after you put Big Scarr in 8th place. Like, you tripping, cuz he should have been first. You must not be from the streets. Because people love assuming that you're not from the hood if you say anything a hood rapper does is mid or garbage. Surprisingly, at number 7 is KayCyy. This man KayCyy literally brought reinforcements in order for his freestyle to sound good. This man brought backup to a solo performance. This gotta be cheating. Like, come on now. At this point, XXL might start allowing duos to perform their freestyle together. Look at Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely. Ken said he doesn't want to be an XXL freshman unless Destroy Lonely gets invited. So if those two ever ended up on the list together, they might rap their freestyle together since they love each other so much. But KayCyy bringing Acquired was a very unique idea. Now, this was creative, unlike y'all calling Doechii's freestyle creative just because she was able to turn her head 360 degrees or because she wasn't talking about sex. Like, that wasn't creative. Now, I will say that he showcased his artistry the best. His harmonies were good and he touched on some really nice topics, saying how he's finally getting noticed for his work in the music game, so his run is just starting. However, he does say that he's been working hard to get here for so many years that he feels like he's a veteran as opposed to a freshman. And they calling who a freshman feel like a vet that just got on. Man, this shit done took some years. If it took one night, then it should feel wrong. Now, this second line speaks a lot of volumes. When you're someone who worked for a long time to get some success, when you see someone else get that same success but they got it overnight, it feels like they don't really deserve it in a sense. Not on no hating stuff, but it makes you look at that person and go like, damn, how did they get here before me? So in KayCyy's mind, he's saying that he doesn't mind that it took him years to get noticed in rap, because if he would have just blew up overnight from a random one-off song that he made, he would feel wrong about it because there's other people that's still grinding to get noticed and they haven't made it. Overall, his freestyle touches on how he's not going to waste his time focusing on things that's not going to bring him money, and as long as he's the leader and chooser of his destiny, he's not going to squander any opportunities that he gets. And of course, you gotta shout out my Dukes in your freestyle. Not like Lil Yachty did though, like, hey mama, I did it, I'm finally here. No, not like that. I know Lil Yachty's mama watched that freestyle and was like, fuck no, baby. KayCyy did it right on his end. Long as I'm the captain, I can't make no moves to have us sinking. Mama, yeah, it's me up on them screens, you not dreaming. Mama, yeah, it's me up on them screens, you not dreaming. So some of y'all may be thinking, bro, you doing all this praising of KayCyy's freestyle, how is he only in 7th place? The reason he's in 7th place is because there were times where his flow was hella off beat or off gospel, whatever you want to call it. It sounded like he was saying some lines faster just to catch up with the and other lines he was saying slower to catch up with the Those hymns from the disciples that he brought, like, they started sounding out of place sometimes. This was for like half of his freestyle too, he was off beat. And the more I listened to it, I was like, my goodness, like, how you bring backup and they doing a better job than you? Overall, I gotta put KayCyy near the center. And the reason why I said surprisingly when I first started talking about him is because I didn't even think he would be outside the top 5. Lyrically, his was really good, but his flow was like kind of terrible. And the choir, although creative and a good idea, he didn't use them in the best way. Let's get back to the women. In 6th place, I got KenTheMan. The beginning of Ken's freestyle honestly was coming off as very cliche and corny to me. The first 20 seconds of her performance, I was shaking my head like, nah, this ain't it. It's giving ass. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, one type of punchline that is played out on XXL is when people say anything like, they calling me a freshman, but I'm already a vet. Or like, I ain't up and coming, I'm been in the game. That type of wordplay on this stuff is so cliche now. KayCyy said it in his freestyle, and Megan Thee Stallion said it on her freestyle 3 years ago. And that was her very first line. They done fucked up and let Houston, Texas get up in here. They saying I'm a freshman, but I spit like I've been here. So hearing Ken say, F these bitches, I'm a lesbian, I'm not a new rap bitch, I'm something like a veteran, I was like, whatever. And that first line, F these bitches, I'm a lesbian, I was like, I know somebody out there probably thought that was the hardest line they've heard in a minute. Also, she was tweaking the hella hard at one point too. When she said, how could bitches ever do a top 10 and I'm not in the top 10? I can't name a bitch off the top that can out rap Ken. Like, chill. I mean, you're supposed to think you're the best at what you do, but come on now. The cocky attitude didn't work for that line. Like, you can't be this cliche of an artist and say ain't nobody out rapping you. Cause yes, they are. The reason why Ken is this high up on the list is solely because she had a decent enough delivery. I don't take umbrage when listening to her voice, and she was able to hold it down, not like stumbling and whatnot. So she was able to cover the basics and not be too over the top. I didn't really start enjoying her freestyle until the second half. When she started at, I've been doing numbers, I don't even with math, eat a bitch up just for starters, I don't even with apps, and I step out Fiji, other bitches giving tap, man my work been selling, heard you hoes still in the trap. When it got to that part and throughout the rest of her verse, I thought it was cool. But the first 20 seconds, I wasn't feeling it. Her and Callie used the same type of bar in theirs too. They both mentioned the typical, like, oh, these hoes be tough on the internet, but when they be in your face, they don't do nothing. Ken said, bitches say it's smoke, but when they see me, it's that Reginald. And Callie said, I beat bitches like Metro, when it's up there, no show, disrespect I can't go. But yeah, Ken was cool, wasn't fire, wasn't trash, but that's what I expected from her. Since we talking about Callie, let's get her out the way. In 5th place, we have Callie. Now, I originally was going to put Callie in last place because I think Callie is a horrible artist and everything she does is horrible. But when I was reading the comments on her freestyle video, I came across a lot of people saying stuff like, the only reason y'all calling this trash is because she's a girl. Or, if a man was to spit something like this and change some of the words, y'all would call this fire. So this made me realize that people get extremely defensive when you say you don't like something a female rapper does. I guarantee you there are some people who've already clicked off and or disliked this video once they saw I put Doechii in last place. So for that reason, I decided to put Callie in 5th place instead of her deserving last place spot, because I don't want people commenting, if you hate black women, then just say that and all that nonsense. So I'm gonna put Callie in here instead. Man, fuck all that, but this girl is garbage. Like, this is the real last place. Swap Callie with Doechii and here you go. Like, she really has the worst one. This girl showed up wearing this tight, restrictive ass top and she thought she was killing it. She thought she ate. Sweetheart, you did not eat, all right? Your performance is giving garbage. It's the whack ass bars for me. See, this is why black women can't succeed. I'm playing. Let me stop. Callie really is in 5th place. This freestyle was the exact same as Flo Millie's from last year. And just like I said about Flo Millie, this wasn't a bad freestyle at all. It was seriously just mid as hell. Like mid. When you watch Flo Millie's freestyle and then you watch Kali's, you'll quickly see that they're just palette swaps of each other. Their deliveries are the same and they rap about the same stuff. Luckily for KayCyy, she has the upper hand though, and I prefer to listen to hers. I wasn't impressed by her freestyle until it got to the end, because all before that, it was cool stuff that you would be expecting. Her talking about dudes she mess around with be catching feelings. It's been 5 days and he's saying he loved me. That nigga ain't fucked, he barely hugged me. Her talking about how she a baddie and she'll never be second to nobody. Bad bitch, no light, bo. Front line, you the side hoe. I can never be the side hoe. This is what I'm saying. Like, she had a good flow in her. She had good breath control. Someone like KayCyy, her performance was just, there's nothing about it that you can flat out say sucked, but it also wasn't nothing that you would hear and be like, damn, she went in. It was more so something you hear and be like, all right, that was cool. She did her thing. This whole part at the end of her freestyle was actually nice to me, and this is the only part of her verse that I think was a highlight. Running shit from Cali to the A, real estate, I put bitches in their place. Why brag when it's all in their face? I need a scammer BOA to chase. BOA meaning Bank of America for you non-scammers out there. If you ain't scamming, then you missing out on the lifestyle. Anyway, yeah, the arrogant Tay, I'm arrogant bae wordplay at the end was cool too, but overall her freestyle was alright, but it was alright in a more positive way as opposed to a negative way like the people below her. The next two people I have on the list were the two most difficult spots I had to rank. I was going back and forth for myself for hours trying to figure out which one I thought was better between the next two people, but I officially made up my mind. In fourth place, we got Big 30, man. He hard, man. Every time he wake up, he just gotta tell himself he got it. Ain't no point listening to other people's opinions because it ain't gonna do him no good. This freestyle here is a shining example of how last year, Pooh Shiesty's XXL freestyle would have been way better if he had a more energetic delivery. Because lyrically, Shiesty's freestyle was okay. The reason it sucked was because of how slow and drowsy he was talking. He was all like, "Send the shots where your D at, we just found out where they sleep at. Been getting head from this iPod, she get straight and let the see back. I'm at the top and I can't fall cause I know they want to see that." Had that nigga said these exact same lines, but he said it in a more hype way. "Sending shots where your D at, we just found out where they sleep at. Been getting head from this iPod, she get straight in, let the see back. I'm at the top and I can't fall cause I know they want to see that." Dog, had he spit it that way, folks would have heard Shiesty's freestyle and went like, yo, Shiesty actually did a good job. He went off on this. With all that being said, that's what made Big 30's freestyle one of the better ones. Like, dude never lost his pacing. He kept a consistent flow going the entire time. And Big 30 is one of those people where his delivery is so infectious that when you know the words to one of his verses and you rap them back, you just feel like a gangster. You be like, ooh, that was hard, that was hard. I know niggas kill motherfuckers and still snitching. So my nigga, you can keep your killers, them niggas bitches. Hey, I can't leave the house without that carbon with that 60. I'm third bottom on the fucking nigga, bitch, and stay on business. Nigga know what's up with me, ain't never tuck my tail. Every day I'm steady sinning like we already in hell. Running up on Big 30, gonna be an epic fail. Got that AR with that coolant in the net to catch a shell. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you can have fun rapping this back. What he's rapping about is your generic street stuff, like toting guns, talking about fake homies, he'll pop you if you disrespect them, you know, all the basics. But he made it somewhat enjoyable to listen to. Now, I must be honest here, y'all. Big 30 has the main freestyle that grew off of me the quickest. When I first heard Big 30's freestyle, he was one of the hardest ones, and I was like, oh yeah, this is easily going to the top. Even though he's still in the top 4, I will admit that the more and more I listened to this verse, the less and less I started enjoying it. I did mention that 30 kept a consistent flow throughout his verse, but there lies the problem. He kept the exact same flow the entire 69 seconds that he was rapping. And on top of that, he rhymed the same sound over and over again to the point where it was kind of getting uninteresting. Tail, hail, fail, shell, jail, mail, sell, tail, bail, YSL. Him keeping the exact same flow and rhyming the same sound for 12 lines straight, that made Big 30's freestyle sound like one long ass sentence. There's honestly times when I run this verse back and I just be tuning him out at some points because it don't be keeping me interested the entire time. I honestly went from thinking Big 30's was fire to thinking it was just cool. I know there's one XXL freshman that you guys are probably surprised that you haven't seen yet, and y'all was thinking, I know damn well you don't have this person towards the top. But yes, I honestly do. The person that I had going back and forth with Big 30, but ultimately I decided that this person was better, was Saucy Santana. I am not trolling. I'm not zesty for all you homophobic people that's about to think I'm gay for thinking he did a good job. Saucy Santana honestly had the third best freestyle to me. And I think that goes to show how ass this year's freestyles were if Santana was able to make it this high. The craziest part about Saucy Santana is that he actually had the freestyle I was waiting to hear the most. Ever since the freestyle trailer dropped, I caught myself every day saying, I got my hater blockers on. It's tunnel vision. I would just randomly say that like 3 or 4 times a day because it was so funny. Also, I don't know who the hell Bruce Drop 'Em Off is, but I commented this on Santano's video that I've been saying that over and over, and I had a few people respond saying, you only saying this because Bruce Drop 'Em Off said it. You probably watch Bruce DEO, don't you? I don't know who this guy is, but I don't know why they think he's the only person in the universe that's been saying this. Now, one thing, I ain't gonna lie, one thing that was kind of obnoxious about Santana's freestyle was that you can hear him breathe heavily in between each line. You know, obviously, when you stop talking and you're going back to say something else, you gotta take a breath in between. But Santana's breathing was so damn loud that it was kind of distracting. I got my hater blockers on. It's tunnel vision. If you can't beat them, join them. Better make your decision. Now, Santana had the most personality in his verse, and he didn't come off like he was trying to be someone he wasn't. He had some sensible bars with topics that were on point, like how he's not afraid to live the life that he wants to live, and he don't care about people making fun of him because they're not making him money. A crowd full of whispers, a page full of comments, but it don't faze me, it ain't making no commas. I put a D in dividends, not the D in drama, but if you gotta take it there, then it's gonna be trauma. And his flow was even tight. Silly bitches want the beef, but I'm stacking that cheese, and niggas begging me for mercy talking about Santana, please. I was like, yo, like this is surprisingly good. He was one of the better people on here. Santana didn't have any lines or have any flows that were flat out bad. Other than that, yippee-yi-yo, yippee-yi-yi-yay, snatching controllers from you niggas, I am not here to play. Like that was awful. Other than that, there was honestly nothing about his freestyle that made me listen to it and think like, bro, this is garbage. What the hell going on here? I went to go listen to the song that he got this verse from. The song is called Try Your Luck. And that song, he was sounding hella aggressive on there.
Because I came up, got my hater blockers on. It's tunnel vision. If you can't beat them, join them, better make your decision.
Overall, yes, Saucy Santana's verse was nice, and I seriously have him in 3rd place. Coming in at number 2, hey, shitty boys, I gotta give it to BabyTron. I'm usually never, ever, ever, ever the type of person to say this, but I do believe a good number of people who think BabyTron's freestyle was mid or ass, y'all just didn't catch the bars he was saying. I really hate saying that because it implies that a person can't like understand the bars and still think it's not all that. But I've talked to some people who got Tron and like 7th place on their list. Then when I ask them like, dang, why you got Tron so low? Man, he ain't even had no bars in his freestyle, man. He wasn't talking about nothing for real. I've even watched some reaction videos to his freestyle, and some people are just blatantly sitting there with no emotion when he says something cold. I'm like, y'all gotta be missing these bars, because there's no way y'all heard this and went, he wasn't saying nothing. That very first line, I'll bang on a bitch like Joanna Man. If you don't even know who or what Joanna Man is, I don't want to hear nothing you gotta say about this freestyle. That line wasn't even all that. It was okay, but that was the first bar out his mouth. So if you didn't get that, then you starting off on the wrong foot. He had a clever way of shouting out his designer clothing. When I'm rocking off-white, you know I ain't got a tan. And then this next part was cool. Unky lived that dog life, he might get a Vic. Unky is like an inside joke within BabyTron's music. He means his uncle when he says that. So he has hella lyrics where he says stuff like, Unky Stress, he'll pop your top for a pack of cigs. I don't do it in the booth, I might have bought a cap from Lids. Chop futuristic real, knock him out the metaverse. Unky finna make the dog fight, he gotta pet it first. Off right here on Preston, looking like the dope man. Unky on the block making fiends hit the coke dance. So here when he said it, he means evict as in evicted. Him saying his uncle is living that dope boy lifestyle. So if Unc get caught selling that work out his home, he gonna get kicked out. And then of course Vic also means Michael Vick and the dog fighting case he had. Hearing somebody still even reference that in 2022 is crazy. This man even got NBA 2K references in here. When I spot up, the range is limitless. Talking about the limitless range badge in 2K. 2022 been great, got some cheese piling. Helen Keller, if I'm in the room, it's gonna be silent. This is kind of similar to the Joanna Man thing. I feel like people who don't even know who Helen Keller is and don't even know that she's a deaf woman, I'm not trying to hear you say, BabyTron wasn't even talking about nothing. Because you completely missed the wordplay. Because it's always going to be silent for you when you walk in a room if you're a deaf person. Like, that line was nice. Pull up in that RR, can. Like, bro, this man had too many hard lines. Shout out to Can and the Really Rich Gang, bro. But the best line in this verse, and this honestly was the best line that anybody has said in their freestyle this year, is when Tron said, punch everything I'm wearing, bitch, I'm freestyling. That line was crazy. For you non-scammers out there, like I said when I was discussing Cali, y'all gotta start scamming so y'all can upgrade in life. But to punch means to scam or finesse something and get it for free. So Tron is saying everything he got on, the clothes and the jewelry, he got it for free since he punched it. So he pretty much said, my whole outfit I got for free. So since I'm wearing this while I rap, that's what you call a freestyle. Cause I'm styling these clothes I got on. It sounds ass when you say it that way, but I had to break it down for the people whose heads it might have flew over. This man had way too many bars in here. If it was a bunch of okay or ass bars, then sure, I get why someone wouldn't care for this. But a lot of these bars were good. So when I heard Tron's freestyle, I was like, this nigga went crazy on here. At number 1, oh man, I have to give credit where credit is due. In first place, I got Cochise. This freestyle makes me so upset that this dude uses that
I don't need it rain. I don't need it rain. I'm getting this paper.
voice in his regular music. Cause I really like this freestyle. I like it so much to the point where it makes me mad that his regular music doesn't sound like this. I probably would have liked this dude from jump if he rapped with this sound. Speaking of, like, I had gave Cochise some love by saying I really like the end of his freestyle. You know, see, God on my side, I can never change. If it's God or some money, you can keep the change. If it's God or popularity, you can keep the fame. I'd rather be at home with my brothers playing soccer games. We are not the same. That entire part was so cool. So I had commented this on his freestyle saying that I liked this part. Literally the first thing out somebody's mouth was they brought up my last video of my opinion on every 2022 XXL freshman, and they gonna say, didn't you say in your last video that you didn't like Cochise? Like, bro, y'all are so slow. Me saying I don't like his regular music has absolutely nothing to do with his freestyle. I had a couple of people who came to me and said that, they're like, nah, Amiri, don't try to support Cochise. Nah, you say he was ass. I can dislike his music and say he killed it here. I don't know why y'all act like that's not possible. But I like this dude's personality in this. The anime references to Jiraiya and Neji were nice. The lines that I highlighted earlier, I like how he transitioned to those lyrics by saying, let me switch the topic right before that. Because before, that's when he was talking about his love for video games. Honestly, I'm at home playing Leagues of the Rockets, MMOs, RPGs, nigga, let me switch the topic. But I think a slept on part of his freestyle already. I say slept on because I read so many comments and saw nobody highlighting these bars, but they were fire. If I ever take a L, it's in silence like salmon. Keep God on my mind. You would think I'm Fred Hammond. Heard you niggas getting hungry. That's the point of being famine. That right there was crazy. L in silence like salmon. This was better than Lil Wayne's Real G's moving silence like lasagna bar. And I'm being so serious when I say that. Fred Hammond is a gospel singer from Detroit. So of course a gospel singer will always be thinking about God. And the last line, for those of you who don't know, famine means not having food. So a person that's famine, not having food, of course they're going to be hungry. Like, that's the point of being famine, just like he pointed out. Man, for me, Cochise was the complete opposite of Coi Leray from last year. Coi Leray is someone whose regular music I really like, but she was completely ass when she got on XXL. I was looking at her like, how is your regular music so good, yet you come here and spit this nonsense? For Cochise, it's the other way around. This freestyle was really dope, but I'm still not rocking with Dog's music.